there it goes. Okay. It is now 7 o'clock p.m. and I will call the meeting to order. May I please get a roll call?
Roll call shows all counselors are present.
And everyone please rise and join me to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
3 is special orders of the day and announcements. 3A is Proclamation 2023-037, recognizing National Night Out.
At this time, Vice President Forbeck will read the proclamations.
Whereas the National Association of Town Watch sponsored a unique nationwide crime prevention and community safety program on August 1st, 2023, entitled National Night Out. And whereas the National Night Out campaign was introduced in 1984 and provides a unique opportunity for the city of Beloit to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting community policing and crime prevention efforts. And whereas the Beloit Police Department, Beloit Area Crime Stoppers, and the Beloit Fire Department play a vital role in collaborating with our community to reduce crime, fear, and disorder in Beloit, Wisconsin, and supported National Night Out in Beloit on August 2nd, 2023. And whereas it is essential that all residents of Beloit be aware of the importance of crime prevention and community policing programs and the impact that their participation can have on creating and sustaining safe neighborhoods in Beloit. And whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program. And whereas the city of Beloit has a long-standing tradition of gathering within our many diverse neighborhoods to celebrate and further law enforcement and community partnerships, now therefore, the City Council President of the City of Beloit does hereby proclaim Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, was National Night Out in Beloit and encourages residents to continue to strengthen and promote neighborhood spirit and police community partnerships beyond just one night of fellowship. Presented the 7th day of August, 2023.
And if our Assistant Chief Sigler could accept the proclamation.
You're welcome. Thanks. We like to see those young guys coming.
3B is Proclamation 2023-038, recognizing National Farmers Market Week.
Whereas local farmers provide residents with access to locally and regionally produced foods through the Beloit Farmers Market, which accommodates the demand for a diverse array of agricultural products. And whereas farmers markets and other agricultural direct marketing outlets provide infrastructure to assist in the distribution of farm and value-added products, thereby contributing billions of dollars each year to the U.S. economy. And whereas farmers markets support healthy communities, bringing delicious and nutritious food to the table. And whereas farmers markets promote sustainability of family farms, preserve farmland, increase access to nutritious food, support healthy communities, and stimulate local economies. And whereas farmers markets are essential businesses, resilient and dependable in making seasonal foods available to the community without the added costs of shipping, storage, and inventory control. And whereas the downtown Beloit Farmers Market is held rain or shine every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the heart of downtown, State and Grand Avenue, from May through October. And whereas the downtown Beloit Farmers Market moves indoors on Saturdays from November through April, hosting vendors and customers from 9 a.m. to noon at the Downtown Beloit Association 557 East Grand Avenue office. Now, therefore, the City Council President of the City of Beloit does hereby proclaim the week of August 6th through the 12th, 2023, as National Farmers Market Week in the City of Beloit, and encourages residents to attend the award-winning Downtown Beloit Farmers Market to support area producers and provide healthy produce for meal options. Adopted the 7th day of August, 2023. Yay. All right.
The Downtown Beloit Executive Director, Shauna Elamine, is here to accept the proclamation.
Thank you all. We greatly appreciate it. Please support our farmers market. Thank you.
Thank you.
3C is Proclamation 2023-040, recognizing August as Black Business Month.
Whereas historian John William Templeton and engineer Frederick E. Jordan Sr. founded National Black Business Month in August 2004, and whereas there are 3.23 million Black-owned businesses in the United States, generating more than 1 million jobs and $200 billion in revenue, and whereas Black-owned businesses serve communities like Beloit with diverse offerings and industries to positively impact the economy, and whereas supporting Black-owned business is crucial to help address the racial wealth gap that exists in our nation, state, and community, and whereas Rock County Jumpstart will be celebrating Black businesses on August 11th from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Eclipse Center for the Black Business Month Awards Luncheon. And whereas there will be special focus and emphasis on Black-owned businesses in the City of Beloit to recognize their many contributions to society, and whereas the City of Beloit is committed to inclusion of all people as a core value. Now, therefore, the City Council President of the City of Beloit does hereby proclaim August 2023 as Black Business Month in the City of Beloit, and encourages all residents to recognize and support African American owned businesses in the greater Beloit community in an effort to close the racial wealth gap in Wisconsin. Presented the 7th day of August, 2023.
At this time, Paquita Pernell, she's also a business owner, is here to accept the proclamation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are honored to be here today and to accept the proclamation. As we were said, we are going to be honoring our 3rd annual Black Business Month Awards. We'll be honoring a Legacy Award for Mr. B's, Business of the Year Backyard Barbecue. The Lotus Award is Elite Property Rental Properties, and Mentor of the Year Mikkel Cooks, and Peer Mentor of the Year is Mikkel Cooks, and Mentor of the Year Barry Bodisher. So thank you very much.
And thank you. And I just wanted to mention, I know we have Councilor Levy, who will also, I think, be speaking at that event.
Yes.
So representing the City of Beloit and also Rock County. So wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
3D is Proclamation 2023-039, recognizing Gladys Elizabeth Mahan.
Whereas Gladys Elizabeth Mahan was born in Pontotoc, Mississippi on October 2nd, 1922, moving to Beloit, Wisconsin in 1958, where she passed away on July 18th, 2023 at 100 years of age. And whereas Mrs. Mahan was employed for many years at Frito-Lay, but she finished her career as a CNA at Carlisle Nursing Home. And whereas she was a longtime and faithful member of Bethel AME Church in Beloit, where she served on the kitchen committee and was a loyal member of the Rebecca Order No. 4, Order of the Eastern Star in Beloit. And whereas Mrs. Mahan filled her home with the fragrant smells of cooking, the joy of music, and loved connecting with her family, neighbors, and friends while sitting on the front porch. And whereas she was devoted to her family, following their lives with interest and affection, and was a major organizer of the Easley family reunion. When the reunions were held in Beloit, Mrs. Mahan delighted in filling her home with family from far and wide. And whereas Mrs. Mahan is warmly remembered for her quick wit, smile, caring advice, and welcoming spirit, being loved and cherished by all who came in contact with her. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Beloit City Council of the City of Beloit recognizes the contributions of Gladys Elizabeth Mahan to her family, church, and community, and extends sincere condolences to her family and friends on her passing. Presented the 7th day of August, 2023.
And if Siobhan Clayton could come forward and accept the proclamation.
Good evening and thank you. I am Siobhan Clayton, as the council president stated. I am a member of Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, where Mrs. Mahan was a longtime member, and I'm here tonight to accept this proclamation on behalf of the family. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the Beloit City Council, congratulations to everyone who received a proclamation this evening. Next, item number 4.
4 is public hearings. There are none. And 5 is public comments.
We have reached the point on our agenda for residents to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. Council members may not act on any requests at this meeting, but may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you please hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from personal attacks of any kind. Public comment is a courtesy, and we expect everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form. Madam Clerk, were there any public comment forms submitted prior to the meeting?
Lori Marshall is up first.
Can you please come to the podium and give your name and your city of residence for the record, please?
Hi, council members. I'm Lori Marshall, and I live in the city of Beloit.
Excuse
I have
me,
addressed
Ms.
you
Marshall. Could you speak a little closer to the microphone? Thank you so much.
I have addressed you before about our beautiful, quiet neighborhood surrounding the open green space of the proposed 6th Street 120-unit multifamily housing development. Unfortunately, over many years, the members of Great West Side neighborhoods have lost their houses, property, or just wonderful family-friendly neighborhoods to make room for so-called progress. It has made us wonder about a few things, and people have asked questions. Why no urgency to bring more businesses to the west side, only the east side? Why are the schools too easily closed on the west side, leaving a big empty building and many vacant acres of land and none on the east side? They all stay open. Why so many multifamily housing units placed on the west side than the east side? Our neighborhood already has a high density of multifamily units, and we don't need any more there. Why are green spaces so easily taken on the west side and not the east side? Why so easy to use eminent domain on the west side and not the east side? We have watched through the years people lose their houses to eminent domain on Maple Street for a green space. Can you justify to those families that have lost their houses filling up another green space in the same neighborhood? Houses have been bought up and demolished along 6th Street also, taking away valuable affordable housing. Now just empty lots sit there. We in the neighborhoods surrounding the 6th Street lot are being told we should give up our neighborhoods for the greater good of the city. We all moved to them for a reason, never dreaming that a multifamily housing unit would be put there, and it is zoned R1 residential. We all worked hard for our houses, working 2 and 3 jobs also to do it. Seem fair? In a recent meeting I attended, the comment was made to stop listening to your constituents and do what you think is best for the city. I was quite taken aback by this comment. I certainly hope those of us who pay property taxes for years and years and keep our houses well taken care of to help our great city will get more consideration than that. Or does the city just want a west side of rental units? In talking to our many neighbors who are all watching this closely, it seems we all feel our surrounding neighborhoods are being unfairly targeted and are expendable to Beloit. Is it the object to have us all move out? Have you all been to our neighborhoods and seen what an impact this would be to us all? The developers haven't been there. Does that seem strange? We have many, many diverse, hardworking people that make up these great neighborhoods. Much hard work has gone into them through the generations, only to have development move farther and farther from them. I suggest that the city help us on the west side with new growth of not just housing complexes and density of people, but new restaurants, shopping in the strip malls. We love our neighborhoods. We've worked hard for generations to keep them. We hope you consider that before you make this decision. There's more suitable places for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you walk away, can you give your name, your first and last name again?
Lori Marshall.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Tia Johnson.
Tia Johnson, Beloit. Many generational Beloiters love living in Beloit and in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, many not living here have other opinions of our city and state. According to numerous media sources, Beloit ranks as the worst city in the state, and Wisconsin ranks as the worst state in terms of racial disparities. As in the past, I have sent you sources of these along with my comments. During the Great Migration, many Black families saw Beloit as a destination filled with hope, progress, and opportunity. Family members recruited siblings to relocate to this haven they had found. Families grew, they worked building community, and even the school district adopted the phrase, "strengthened by diversity," as part of their motto. It is such a travesty that our city, our reputation, our image has become one of such low regard. Many of us who have lived here for years and decades know the numerous positive qualities and benefits of living in Beloit. However, at the July meeting, the council voted to approve Resolution 2023-90 of spending more than $1 million at Big Hill Park. That same day, I received an email from the city regarding the condition of the stairs at Roosevelt Park and the cost involved. Quote, the current estimate for the stairs alone is $100,000. The ramp would be double or triple the amount of the stairs. Even at that higher estimate, the cost still comes out to less than half of what was spent at Big Hill. Beloit continues to struggle with racism and elitism. With the storms we had a couple weeks ago, several trees and limbs fell in the East Lawn Cemetery. After the storm, some areas of the cemetery had the limbs moved to the roadside. But in the lower part of Section 5, the historically Black section, as years ago, Blacks were not allowed to be buried in the white-only sections, several tombstones were buried in debris from the storm. None of the predominantly white sections had any tombstones still covered with debris. A reasonable amount of time is needed to clear rubble. But this is now almost 2 weeks ago, and tombstones in Section 5 are still covered. As money is being spent fixing Big Hill Park, our families' resting places are still being neglected. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tia, for the record, can you state your city of residence?
Beloit.
Okay, thank you.
Right across from East Lawn.
Okay.
Next, we have Edith and Maria.
When you come forward, if you could please state your name and city of residence for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Ida Gerardo, and I'm a resident from Beloit, Wisconsin.
And my name is Maria Dominguez.
Okay, first thing, I just want to let you know my pronunciation maybe is not well, but I try to express myself like the better things I can, okay? So I'm sorry for any inconvenience. We are a like group of Ballet Folclórico Sangre Mexicana de Beloit, and we here is tonight because we want to see if we can get the permission to get the festivals on September for the Latino festivals, and then el Dia del Grito, like Mexican dates, and then we are here with the kids, and so we're gonna show you like it is important to us to bring it into to this, so the way they are know the culture that we are. So we wanna like keep in like promote our culture to see another kids come and enjoy it at the group, and then see if this go like more for another kids, like not just Mexican kids, like everyone is welcome to come. And then I think that's all we want to say. Just, I hope this like helpful to get the permission that I say, and then if not, it's okay. Maybe next year or something like that.
Yeah, we try to promote the cultura and share to the kids because all the kids they born here, so obviously it's nobody know how is the our cultura, and we're really happy to the Beloit as the city. They are open the hands to all the time. They try to help to the Latino community. I'm very happy to live around here, and that's what they try to do. They connect to our cultura with the Beloit city, and everybody's know they here in Beloit. Everybody's welcome to the Latinos and the cultura, and that we have too many options to do for the Latinos. We have the practice and the YMCA, so they are open the doors for us, and we are really happy to. We have too many doors opening here, and so that is why we show to the children that we have too many opportunities here in Beloit. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have David.
Can you please come forward, state your name and city of residence for the record, please?
Hello, everybody. My name is David Ramirez in Beloit, Wisconsin. So just so that there's no confusion between the festivals for September, just to be clear, it is two different festivals. The one at the Snappers Stadium, that's the one for the organization that I spoke about in the last meeting. It's nice to hear people like Tia saying the things that she's saying. My comment on the paper said the Hispanic Fest. It has to do with diversity also. That's what she was talking about. The inclusion, helping somebody feel welcome, the camaraderie, that brotherhood, that love. That's what these festivals are about. So we have the schools coming up back into session. There's been a lot of different programs in the community that give out backpacks and school supplies. It's really nice to see you guys involved with that type of stuff, plugging one bag at a time. So like all that stuff matters because we see all that, and it makes other people want to maybe try to do it also. So thank you for the leadership and for diversity and equity and all that other stuff, because I think it's going to help us all just be better here in Beloit, period. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That was it.
Are there any other members of the public who did not sign up who wish to address our council this evening? Can you come forward, please? State your name and city of residence for the record.
I'm Dave Hansen. I'm a lieutenant with the Beloit Fire Department, and I'm the president of Local 583. Back in May, City Manager Jerry and Kevin Day, the city councilor, came to Fire Ops, went to the Professional Firefighters of Wisconsin Fire Ops with us, spent all day with us, took time out of their busy schedule to learn more about what firefighting is and the work involved with it. Since then, we have received a few awards from the state, and we have kind of a little presentation we'd like to give to Kevin and to City Manager Jerry. So if you guys can kind of
have them come forward
up here real quick.
Go ahead. That's wonderful. Picture time. Everybody, let's give them a hand.
So from the PFFW, they sent, basically it's a helmet shield, which is on the front of a firefighter's helmet that just states Fire Ops 101, and then with Jerry's name. And then also there's a picture of Jerry and Kevin and Clinton Anderson in all of their equipment that they're wearing. Jerry's quite dirty after one of our evolutions, dirty and hot and sweaty. So we got a good picture of them. So Jerry, hopefully this finds a spot on your office wall. Or
Thank you.
Kevin, same thing? Same picture?
All right.
Here's your thing. Yes, sir. Thank you very much
That's
for coming.
nice. That's
Wonderful,
great.
wonderful. Can you just, before you go up, just so everybody knows what Fire Ops is, what they actually had to do? I know that there was some work involved in that, so it wasn't like they were able to just go and take seats.
Yeah, so with Fire Ops, they came and it was an all-day event, and we put them through multiple different evolutions. So they wore all of our equipment. They did a search and rescue scenario where they had to drag a body out and save a person from a building. They operated fire hose, and on a second story and on a main level as well. They did extrication, cut up a car. They did an EMS scenario where it was basically a full code, so they had to do CPR. They had to transport the patient onto a cot, get them to an ambulance, work through the ambulance. So, and they worked very hard. They both put in a really good effort, and they worked very hard. It was great to see and watch, and hopefully they have a new understanding and kind of respect as far as what our day-to-day can be. So.
Great.
And it sounds like they passed the test. They represented us well, right?
100% right. Very good.
That's right. So, congratulations.
All right.
He's got the photos.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. I hope Clinton can get a copy of that or see some of it. He's not here this evening.
I have a picture for Clinton when we can catch up, and I'm sure they sent the plaque to his office, so it's going to be
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that presentation. Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the council this evening that did not sign up? Madam Clerk, were there any public comments submitted by email?
There was. Congratulations on getting that grant to add another electric bus to the Beloit fleet. Keep writing those EV grants. This is a great time for it. Jenny Hoople. The Municipal Code 7.235 regarding the control of weeds and grasses makes no mention of native perennial wildflowers and native bunching grasses, which are planted decoratively in many city-owned parks, business properties, and private residence in Beloit. I wonder, since we as a community are so widely planting native perennial flowers and grasses, whether some wording could be added to the code to account for this new trend. Thank you so much for your attention to this matter, Jenny Hoople. Again, despite assurances from a person on the Parks Commission, the city is spending large amounts of money for improvements at Big Hill Park, while small neighborhood parks in low-income neighborhoods languish. Council just approved a $1 million allocation for improvements at Big Hill Park, while the broken steps at Roosevelt Park would cost half that to repair. Systematic racism doesn't mean the councilors or city manager are racist. It means that by continuing to spend more money on parks and bike paths in affluent, predominantly white neighborhoods than on small neighborhood parks in the predominantly black and brown neighborhoods, they are allowing that racism peridium to perpetuate. And yes, even fixing the stone wall at Big Hill Park, which badly needs to be done, for safety counts, because the stairs at Roosevelt also badly need to be fixed. Jenny Hoople. I strongly believe that Beloit's landscaping ordinances need to be updated to allow for the planting of native plants and grasses that support a diverse array of pollinators. There are plenty of resources to determine what constitute noxious weeds versus what native plants are beneficial for the environment. Many other cities have modified their rules accordingly. If we aspire to be an environmentally responsible community, the time has come to encourage, not punish, landowners who are trying to benefit the whole city by cutting down on the cultivation of lawns and the use of dangerous pesticides. We have experts in the community who could help rewrite the ordinance in a matter of hours. Please contact me if you'd like to be in touch with them. Sincerely, Ellen Joyce. Dear City Council, I am writing to urge you to adopt a pollinator-friendly approach and promote the growth of native plants throughout our city, rather than relying on punitive measures such as issuing tickets. Pollinators such as bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds are essential for the health of our environment and the sustainability of our food supply. Native plants provide vital habitat for these creatures, and the services they provide to our city are invaluable. In addition to supporting pollinator populations, native plants are also aesthetically pleasing and can help to create a more diverse and vibrant urban landscape. They are also better adapted to our climate and require less maintenance and water than other species of plants. By planting native species, we can create vibrant parks and gardens, reduce water usage, and provide habitats for wildlife. I urge you to consider the benefits of promoting the growth of native plants and to take a proactive, pollinator-friendly approach to urban landscaping. Thank you for your time and consideration. Amy Stredwick. More and more people in our community are transforming yards into landscapes that support biodiversity. Our yards can provide habitat for pollinators, sequester carbon, reduce stormwater runoff, and contribute beauty. The city can encourage us to work together towards these goals. There are at least 2 changes that the city could make to encourage this. First would be a change to enforcement procedures. The ordinance regarding weeds and grasses, 7.235, requires that lands be free from noxious weeds as defined in statute 66.0407. The Wisconsin statute refers to any weed designated as a noxious weed by the Department of Natural Resources by rule. Before issuing citations regarding weeds and grasses, there should be confirmation that there are weeds that meet this definition on the property. The city should know that there are noxious weeds present and not assume that there are. If the city does not know, the owner should be contacted to provide a list of plants on the property. Second, the ordinance refers to grasses separately from weeds and limits their height to 8 inches. Native grasses have high ecological value, including carbon sequestration and soil regeneration. The value of native plantings can be increased with the inclusion of native grasses. Lawn grasses are not native. The weeds and grasses ordinance should specify an exception to the height of the grasses for natives. Thank you, Chris Nelson. I am writing to ask the City Council to amend the noxious weeds and grass ordinance to include a statement supporting the planting and maintaining of native flowers and plants to support the pollinator population in Beloit year-round, not just May. No Mow May was a nice start, an amendment to said ordinance, but pollinators and residents need support and protection all year round. The lack therefore of, unfortunately, became an issue for my family when we received a notice of an ordinance violation and pending fine in the $200 to $700 range for violating the noxious weeds and grass ordinance. Attached to this email notice were photos of our native garden flower beds. We received this as we were out of town for an ongoing family emergency, as a close family member was literally on life support. Despite being out of town, our lawn was maintained well within compliance of the 8-inch limit, so we were shocked and confused. Does the city regulate individual flower beds? When my spouse responded explaining the situation, stated we were out of town, the gardens cited were native flowers, and we've invested hundreds of dollars and numerous hours intentionally planting. He was told to 1, mow the area, 2, pursue a land management plan, and/or 3, file an extension. As we scrambled from afar, we struggled to see how growing native flower gardens were in violation of anything. Despite knowing our garden beds are an asset to the environment and community, this notice and directive caused our family a lot of stress during an already stressful and tragic time. Upon returning home, my spouse pruned the gardens to best display the new blossoms for the pollinators' benefit. He reached out to the city employee on several occasions, inviting them to walk through again and asking for clarification, because to our knowledge, we have no species of plants that is classified as a noxious weed by the city or the Wisconsin DNR. It wasn't until after he sent updated pictures of our garden beds with their mid to late summer blossoms, lists of variety of species of plants, and lists of the species they support that we were thankfully told no fine was going to be issued. It was a very unfortunate stressor that showed Beloit gardeners are not supported when it comes to growing flower gardens with native flowers. We have received information about the land management plan, but it is not applicable to our situation. This plan enables property owners to be exempt from the 8-inch grass requirement, serving as a lawn replacement plan where they often plant prairie-type installations. As it's written, the option is only available to property owners with a half-acre or more. It has only been used by a few industrial landowners with expansive properties, but it has not worked for a single resident. So again, I ask you, please amend the noxious weed and grass ordinance again to include a statement to not only support but also encourage residents to grow native plants and gardens, support pollinators all seasons, and ultimately help prevent an incident like this from happening to another family. Thank you for your consideration. With gratitude, Dr. Brittany Keys. Good evening. I am writing in tonight to advocate for a development of policy regarding native plants for our city. Native plant gardens, whether in private or public areas, do much more for local pollinators and wildlife than invasive ones. This matter of biodiversity is crucial to Beloit's sustainability goals, and amending the current rules on what can be planted where marks our city's enthusiasm to meeting them. Thank you, Devon McIntyre.
Thank you, Marcy. Public comment is now closed.
Item 6 is consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Would any counselor like anything removed from the consent agenda? May I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 6A through 6I? Is there a motion?
I so move.
Moved by Counselor Terrell, seconded by Counselor Blakely. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 7 is licenses. There are none. Item 8 is ordinances. 8A is consideration of ordinance number 3805 to amend section 18.02 sub 15 sub AA of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit, authorizing outdoor vending by Ballet Forloquio Juvenile Mexicana de Beloit Incorporated for 2 annual community events in Riverside Park or Telfair Park. First reading.
Director Bill Frisbee will present, and I believe you're going to present on both items 8A and 8B. Bill.
Ballet Folklorico Juvenil Sangre Mexicana de Beloit is requesting to host Festival Latino Americano on September 9th at Riverside Park from 6 a.m. till 11 p.m. The event will include food vendors, live music, local businesses selling merchandise, and a beauty pageant. Current city code prohibits outdoor vending in city parks unless it is permitted by exception to the ordinance. Event organizers anticipate 1,000 attendees for this event. The same group is also requesting to host Festival de Dia de El Grito on September 15th at Riverside Park from 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. This festival will celebrate Mexico's Independence Day. The event will include food vendors, live music, local businesses selling merchandise, and traditional dances. Current city code prohibits outdoor vending for this one also, unless an exception in the ordinance, and they also anticipate 1,000 attendees for this event. And so this ordinance would allow vending in Riverside Park, but also Telfair Park in case they choose to change venues in future years. These events are all open to the public, and the event sponsor will be responsible for all of the vendors at the event and provide appropriate insurance coverage. Both events intend to sell alcohol, and the organizers have not yet completed their temporary Class B license from the city clerk's office.
Thank you. This is a first reading of the ordinance. Is there a motion to lay the ordinance over for a second reading?
I move to suspend the rules.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. That said, I believe we have to suspend the rules, and then we'll go to the
You can ask for comment on the motion to suspend the rules, and then you would take a vote on that motion to suspend the rules.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to, who was that motion by?
Marquise.
Okay, it was a motion by Councilor Terrell. The second was by?
Me.
Vice President Forbeck? Okay, just trying to get it clear for the record. Okay, are there any further questions or discussion on that?
I kind of see a little bit of confusion in the crowd, so I was just gonna say this gonna speed up the process for y'all, for anybody that is interested in this. So leave it there.
Okay,
I have a comment, Madam President.
go ahead, Councilor Blakely.
I just wanted to say that both of these events are very worthwhile, and you all are representing them really wonderfully this evening, as you have at other times too. And I would like to vote for your convenience to make this all easier for you too.
And I just want to mention
Welcome.
you, and I just want to mention you're just so, we're just happy to have you here and have your presence here. And we certainly promote diversity throughout our entire community. Okay, so with that said,
I have a question.
question, go ahead, Councilor Levy.
Just a question. You said from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., right?
Correct.
How does this fit into the noise ordinance for the evening? Because I want to make sure as they go into the event that everything is spelled out.
Correct. So within the parks, you can allow amplification until 11 p.m. in Riverside and Telfer Park.
Thank you. So I believe we had the motion and the second to suspend the rules. Next, I believe, okay, we got to take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye. I'm sorry.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. So now what we'll do is take a, we have to take, now we still got another part of this. We have to take a motion on the merits, I believe, of this. So can I please have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Councilor Terrell, seconded by Councilor Levy. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
All right.
Woo! There you go. You are so welcome. Thank you for being here this evening, too.
8B is consideration of ordinance number 3798 to amend section 18.02 sub 15 sub W of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit, authorizing outdoor vending by Hispanos Unidos Rompero for Hispanic Heritage Festival in Riverside Park or Telfer Park. Sorry.
Well, we already did this, didn't we?
No, that's another
No,
one.
this is the second. This is a different.
That, the other one was suspend the rules and
Talked
vote
about
on.
both of them.
I second the move to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
That was me,
Seconded, who gave the motion? Was it Councilor Levy?
Counselor Levy.
Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Blakely. Are there any further questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance.
Did you want a presentation on this one or no?
No. It's the second reading.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, this is the second reading.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Done. All right.
Now we've got it all done.
Okay. Thank you, Bill, for the presentation. I was doing the same thing. I'm trying to keep up.
He wanted to show his skill by reading. That's what it was.
And Regina, Madam President,
Yes.
I just wondered, the pictures that were taken earlier, where will they be able to see that picture?
That's going to be posted. That's for our selfie day. If you take a look at the City of Beloit website, I also we can share it from our sites, and you can just check the Facebook posts, so you'll see them. Thank you all for being here this evening. Okay.
Thank you.
8C.
8C is consideration of ordinance number 3802 to amend section 2.02 sub 2 sub C of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit pertaining to legal holidays for city council meetings.
This is the second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented? I believe we have a motion by Councilor Levy. Is there a second? Second by Vice President Forbeck. Are there any questions or discussion?
No.
I just have a comment to make. I just want to say that our Beloit City Council Council historically does not meet on federal holidays. When those holidays fall during a regularly scheduled council meeting, we look forward to recognizing Juneteenth just as we recognize other holidays. So at this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8D is consideration of ordinance number 3793, amending the zoning district map of the city of Beloit for the property located at 2000 Gateway Boulevard.
This is the second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
Move.
Moved by Councilor Terrell. Is there a second?
Second. Seconded
by Vice President Forbeck. Are there any questions or discussion? I just want to mention that this fits in conformance with our strategic plan, Goal 3 and Goal 4, to create and sustain economic and residential growth, to create and sustain a high quality of life. And this zoning will also foster economic sustainability by allowing a new commercial business in our city of Beloit. And also it's important that this will increase the city's tax base. So at this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance. Hold on. As presented, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Madam President, we had a second on that one, too. Did you want to mention that person's name?
Oh, who was the second? Oh, the second was Vice President Forbeck.
Thank you.
Okay.
8E is consideration of ordinance number 3804, amending the future land map of the city of Beloit, comprehensive plan for the property located at 1006 Park Avenue.
Okay, this is the second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
Move.
Moved by Councilor Terrell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Day. Are there any questions or discussion? Oh. I was between the both of them. Okay. We'll change that for the record, Marcy. Second by Councilor Adama. Are there any further questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8F, consideration of ordinance number 3794, amending the zoning district map of the city of Beloit for the property located at 1006 Park Avenue.
Okay, this is the second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented? Councilor?
I so move.
Okay. I'm going to say motion by Vice President Forbeck, seconded by Councilor Day. Are there any questions or discussion? I just wanted to mention on both of these, hold on, this is 8F, that this one, it's redeveloping of a property that has been vacant since 2006, and this will help create and sustain safe and healthy neighborhoods through community revitalization. So at this time, there's a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8G is consideration of ordinance number 3797, amending the zoning district map of the city of Beloit for the property located at 2231 Trevino Court.
This is a second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Terrell. Are there any further questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8A is consideration of ordinance 3800, prohibiting parking on Prospect Street north of Public Avenue.
This is a second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented? Moved by Councilor Adama. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, there is a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8I is consideration of ordinance 3801, prohibiting parking on Fur Drive between Burton Street and Woodman Lane.
This is a second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
I so move.
Moved by Vice President Forbeck. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Adama. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, there's a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
8J is consideration of ordinance 3799 establishing a 15-minute parking zone for 2 parking spaces in the 300 block of State Street.
This is a second reading of an ordinance. May I please have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
Madam President, I would like to make a motion that we approve this ordinance for a 30-minute parking zone.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve for 30 minutes. Is there, it was moved by Councilor Levy, seconded by Councilor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, there's a motion to approve the ordinance as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes.
Item 9 is appointments. There are none. Item 10 is councilor activities and upcoming events.
Okay, we will start with Councilor Blakely.
Thank you. On July 28th, Vice President Forbeck and I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony and official opening for the Ortho Midwest Surgery Center on the old site, some of you may remember, of the Manor Restaurant at 2102 Freeman Parkway. There are going to be a staff of 8 or 9 surgeons as well as up to 60 other staff members. They were giving tours, and it's quite an impressive build. Last Friday, the street dance night, I dropped by and went to the Art Center then, downtown for their first Friday. Every first Friday of each month, they hold a reception that's open to the public to honor an area artist or artists whose work they're showing rather. And then I wandered over to Cheesehead where Nick and Friends was playing music. Coming up this week, there's Tech Tuesdays at Beloit Public Library tomorrow from 3 to 7. You can drop in any time, bring your software along, bring your phone along, get some help understanding it, and getting it going the way you need to have it going. Another event coming up on Friday from 10:30 to 11:30 is a drum and music circle being held at Grinnell Hall, the senior center on the west side of Beloit. It's open to anyone, and it's being led by Johnny Whitnabell from the Castle. And finally, another event coming up. There are so many. I've got my printed list here, and it's actually 10 pages long, but this is the last item I'll read to you. A historic walking tour of downtown Beloit will take place this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. It's sponsored and run by our Parks and Rec department. And if you want to register for the event, please call our Parks and Recs department at 608-364-2890. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Blakely. Next, Councilor Levy.
No report.
Thank you, Councilor Levy. Councilor Adama.
Well, I had a really cool plogging event this last Friday. It was really nice. We went by the Woodman's area, grass, and picked up a lot of trash, so that's cool. I would also like to take this time to remind people that, trying to figure out how to word this, you shouldn't light fireworks, but if you do light fireworks, don't do it in grassy areas, and make sure you pick up your trash. There's a ridiculous amount of things that we saw, but that grassland is super important. When you leave plastics and paper, it gets back into the water and all that everything else. So just make sure you pick up your stuff, especially when there's like 15 garbage cans in that area already. There's also Rock the Pride is coming up this Saturday. I'm going to speak there, so that's going to be really cool. It's awesome living in a community that really takes its time to represent all its people. That's super awesome. And then a bunch of really committed community members are doing a health fair on the 26th and a backpack giveaway. So a lot of cool things. Love this community very much.
Thank you, Councilor Adama. Next, Counselor Trail.
I really don't have much, but I will say that there's some certain thing going on in Montgomery, Alabama, and every time I see things in the news or on the internet, I always reflect back to Beloit and the good things that we're doing here as a community. We have a representative city council. We have a city manager that's willing to pull up on residents anytime and hear concerns. We have a very well-ran police department, and we have citizens here, and there's a lot of togetherness here with our citizens. And given what happened down there, it was unfortunate to see, but hopefully the situation gets resolved. Hopefully justice is served. And here in the city of Beloit, it's just good to know that we have a united community, a united city, to where if something like this did happen, it'd be resolved in the most peaceful way possible, and hopefully something like this doesn't happen again, rather it be down there or the surrounding areas. So just wanted to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Trail. Counselor Day.
I just wanted to say a couple things, take a minute. I wanted to thank the staff from the city and police department, Crime Stoppers, fire department for National Night Out. At Telfair, I think I went with my wife. That was a great event, probably one of the better ones I've attended. So hats off to you guys for doing a nice job. Second thing I think needs a little recognition is all the time and effort that went into the event that took place Friday night at the street dance. City staff and all the volunteers. There are a lot of volunteers out there, so thank you to everybody that helped out with that, because it was a big planning effort, a lot of cleanup at the end. And then Regina, I think she attended. Thank you for going to all those events. 8 different, was it 8, 7, or 8? I don't know. Trying to set a record.
Even in my report, I got numerous.
You and Jerry and Chief Sales. So
Thank you.
thank you guys for doing that. That was a big lift too. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor Day. Vice President Forbeck.
Well, I just want to say, National Night Out, it really fulfills its purpose. I mean, people actually meet their neighbors. I mean, sometimes you haven't had a chance to meet them yet, or you're reminded suddenly that, oh my gosh, they do live 3 or 4 houses down. So anyway, we had a wonderful one, and it was so darling. Those young EMTs that came, everybody's saying, please, there's lots of food left. So they were sort of delighted to be able to dip in, and we have an older community where we are, so this is so darling. What the 2 guys said was it was so nice to come to this neighborhood when it was really fun and nice, and not when it was some emergency where they were going there to get some people who were in need of EMT. So anyway, we all chuckled about that, and they were very darling and personable, really made a nice impression. And then also Regina and Jerry and Chief came to ours too, so that was fun. So thank you. And then I also have to say, I had the great opportunity to go with much of city staff and Regina, and we went up to the Ho Chunk Casino, and we had a real tour. And I really felt I really learned a lot. And so I just want to say, as things progress here with casino plans, I just want everybody to know that your city council is getting prepared to really know how to best plan any development. So it was a great opportunity and well thought out. So thanks, that's it.
Thank you, Vice President Forbeck. And now I'll have my comments. I hope some of them may be a little redundant, but just bear with me. First, I want to acknowledge that we had a couple future counselors here in the audience tonight. So I just want to say that means a lot. And so we hope we try to lead by example here on the floor. So we're so happy to see you here. Also, thank you for everyone who gave input, whether it was here in person, via email. We want you to know that your input is appreciated. We hear you, And I just want to respond. There was a few comments that came in tonight, and I just want to say that our council is working with our city staff to enhance all of our neighborhoods in the entire city of Beloit even more, as well as improvement of our environment. We sit here in these seats, but we certainly live here. We reside here in the city, and we want it to be the best city that it can be. So we understand the importance of this, and we have it included in our strategic plan. So I just wanted to say that. Next, I want to mention that the City of Beloit launched a new self-reporting tool online for various incidents relative to theft, vandalism, lost property, fraud, scam, drug violations, and shoplifting. This online form will be used to report incidents that occur within the City of Beloit Police Department. And I think I went on Facebook and clicked into the link. It was very simple. I'm not real tech savvy, but if I can do it, believe me, you can do it. This will create a more efficient use of our city resources. You can go to the City of Beloit Police Department website for the link or call 608-364-6801 if you have questions. However, in case of an emergency, please call 911. This has been publicized as far as the self-reporting tool, and there is translation in Spanish. So thanks to the Beloit Police Department and all city staff involved in making this possible. So way to go. Next, for my council activities, I attended a Visit Beloit Board of Directors meeting, a Greater Beloit Economic Development Corporation Executive Committee meeting, a meeting with the Ho Chunk Nation officials along with Vice President Forbeck and our city staff. Also, I went to the National Night Out event at Telford Park. It was wonderful to see so many people there, including our Police Chief Sales and Fire Chief Pease. And there were many volunteers, too. And also it was nice to see some of the city staff, their families join in, too. And the police officers' families had the police department families of the Beloit Police Department. So I was just really happy to see that. The kickoff celebration had entertainment, youth dancers, agency providers, law enforcement. With our police department, there were also police officers from the Rock County Sheriff's Department and other area law enforcement agencies, as well as fire personnel who led in the demonstration. Also, the Beloit Police Department gave out free cameras to the first 100 people that signed up. I was happy to see our police department and emergency personnel connect with our community and promote safety. In addition to that, I joined our city manager and police chief going to numerous, I talked about that earlier, neighborhood block parties on the east side and west side of town. We had a great time interacting with residents and their families, and there was tons of food and drinks. Everywhere we went, they had water or something. They were just so well put together and organized. We took lots of photos. Also, the city manager and I participated in the Beloit Coalition of Churches Back to School giveaway and resource fair at Summit Park on Saturday. It was fantastic, and our Beloit Fire Department had a table there too. I think it may have been Daniel that joined us. I can't remember, but I think that was his name. But he was passing out the little fire hats to the children. And Jerry, I got a good photo of you doing that too. It was just fantastic. They had the coloring books and just all the kind of things promoting safety for the children and their families. It was wonderful. The event was well attended. There was nowhere to park. I had to park maybe like 2 or 3 blocks away to walk to get into the event. So just a wonderful job by Pastor Norris and the Beloit Coalition of Churches. The clergy and community members joined together to ensure that our children are prepared to go back to school this year. They gave out free backpacks, and information was provided about organizations and services. There were people out there, was organizations like the Cub Scouts, just all kinds of things, even for families. We also recognized Pastor Terry Morehouse with the proclamation for his efforts with the event and for his unwavering commitment to our city. That said, I want to end by giving special thanks to our city staff and everyone to help make each of these endeavors a success. I don't want to leave anyone out. And as I said at our resource fair when I spoke, I said together, and I had everybody repeat after me, we got this. Together, we got this. I am proud that there are so many good things happening and fun activities taking place in our city of Beloit. You really don't want to miss out. So be sure to go to the City of Beloit website and sign up for our Beloit report. This ends my council report for this evening. Next, we'll go on to item 11.
Item 11 is city manager presentation. 11A is city manager update.
Thank you very much.
City manager Jerry Gabrielatos will give us his update.
Thank you very much. Although on Saturday, I think I was just called Mr. G.
Okay, that's right, Mr.
Yeah,
G.
I
That's
like
what they
that.
said, and it stands for a lot.
Yeah. We will follow up about the items in the cemetery that were brought up during public comment, as well as some of the comments about noxious weeds. And then just so the council knows, the person who came and spoke about 6th Street, or the potential development on 6th Street, is somebody that we met during one of the block parties on Wednesday night. We walked down to the site. She explained some of our concerns some of her concerns to me, and we relayed those to our staff. So that's all I have tonight.
Mr. City Manager, Madam President,
Go ahead.
I have an addendum.
Oh, go ahead.
I happen to know that August 9th, 2 days from now, is Regina Duncan Day. It's an annual event, and this year you're raising funds especially for
Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club. And there's a rumor going around that you may be throwing the first pitch at the Sky Carp game.
On Wednesday at 6:15. I sure
Wednesday
am
at
throwing out the first
6:15.
pitch. And I'm going early at 6 so I can practice. I don't want to let anybody down.
That's great. And also people wanting to contribute can go through Culver's?
Yes,
Are
they can go to Culver's on the 15th of this month.
The 15th.
Culver's or the Rock Bar and Grill, or both of them.
Oh,
And
okay.
a portion of those proceeds will be donated to the Boys and Girls Club. So thank you. For mentioning that.
Thanks for doing that, Regina.
Thank you.
Item 12 is reports from boards and city officers. 12A is consideration of Resolution 2023-119, approving an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Beloit and Milwaukee Transportation Services, Incorporated.
Our Director, Julie Christensen, will present.
So Terry Downing, Deputy Community Development Director, and her leadership team have been working on a number of technology upgrades for the Beloit transit system, which include automatic voice announcement with LED displays, GPS, infotainment, and cashless fare media to try to enhance services to the public. The cashless fare media will be provided by the Wisco system with an app. This system was procured and developed through Milwaukee County Transit System and includes options for riders to purchase fare through an app, a debit card, or a transit pass card that can be loaded and charged electronically. It also provides real-time trip planning options and can be used throughout the state with other transit agencies who utilize the Wisco app. The system will benefit riders by providing more convenient and updated fare purchasing options, and will benefit transit drivers as it will reduce time needed to physically punch passes. It's anticipated this will also reduce the amount of direct cash handling by staff, and another added benefit is that the system will be no-touch, so it will minimize the contact between passengers and drivers, which will reduce the risk of spreading contagious illnesses. However, we will still have the option to pay fares in cash on the bus at the fare box for people who may not want to use these new technology options. The funding for this system is entirely being paid with grants between federal CARES funds and transit ARP grant funds, so there's no local match required. There's a base cost for installation of $26,180, and then annual cost for system maintenance and per transaction fees at $8,215, and the initial costs and additional annual fees for the first 5 years will be funded with those grant funds. And we're really excited about this because I think we're just moving up with technology to try to improve we're hoping to improve ridership by making it easier for people to pay for transit, making it easier for people to figure out where buses are at, and then this system will also connect to other systems. So we think it's a very positive program. Terry's been working very hard to try to bring these different systems forward. It's a combination of different things. She's also working on some security cameras and a number of projects with our grant funds. It was, we got a lot of extra funds through the federal government because of COVID. And so we've been trying to maximize the use to try to improve our system overall. And basically what's on your agenda tonight is the intergovernmental agreement between us and the Milwaukee Transportation Services, Inc.
Thank you, Julie. May I please have a motion to approve the resolution?
I so move.
Moved by Councilor Blakely, seconded by Councilor Terrell. Are there any questions or discussion?
Great.
I just wanted to add that I'm excited, that we are excited about this collaboration between the City of Beloit and Milwaukee County. And this is wonderful because it will help to enhance our transit system. So, that said, at this time, there is a motion and a second to approve this resolution. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Terrell, seconded by Councilor Adama. Are there any questions or discussion? At this time, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion passes. This ends our council meeting for this evening. Marcy, I just jumped in it, I'm sorry. Because Marcy will say something. Adjournment.
A bunch of people on Friday night actually had a bus
Good meeting.
Yeah, it would be a great
Good meeting.
I'm sorry, everybody was talking at the same time. Like, who is it?
I know.
Good job.
Thank you, Regina. I hope I